All right, let's go through the process now of building our tables in our database. So this process that we're going to use right now involves using our ERD. And this is the ERD solution that I provided. If yours didn't look exactly like this, you can see you have all the relationships, the tables, and the columns. I would recommend, highly recommend, that before you build the tables, make sure your columns are in the exact same order as the solution. This will make doing the data import monumentally easier. So now I'm going to do the process of actually building the tables in the database. Now, MySQL is a management, it's an RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. In it are a whole bunch of databases. We've worked with CSS Data O class quite extensively, but there's a whole bunch of databases out there that are CSS Data O underscore your username. Here's what they look like. So there's mine, CSS Data O underscore this is my CSS username, not the username that you entered in week 3 to get access to the database server, but this is your actual full Scholastica username. Okay, we've been using class as the default database for all your assignments. Now you're going to use one that's specific to you. All right, so in order to do this process, it's called forward engineering. We're going to use the ERD to build the tables. There's a couple things we need to do. So open your ERD and you're going to have this display. In the catalog tree, you're going to see, mine happens to say MyDB for my ERD. Yours may say something else. Go ahead and right-click there and select Edit Schema. And it's going to open a new window down here at the bottom. You are to type in CSS Data O underscore your CSS username. My full one it's typically your first initial and your last name. Now, if we've had repeats, they throw a 1 on the end or a 2 or a 3 or whatever. Okay, this is not, and I'll say it again, this is not the 7 that you used as a username to access the server. This is different. This is the name of your database that you're going to use. It's your full CSS username. It's extremely important that you do that. Otherwise, you're going to get errors. Okay. Once it's done, you'll see it's updated here. I'm going to go ahead and just save so it's there. Okay, now I'm ready to go. I'm going to close this. This says CSS Data O underscore my username, or my database, which is my full CSS username. So this is my whole database name, CSS Data O underscore Jay Grodecki. Then we'll go up to model. Actually, I'm going to database, forward engineer, and I come up with a new screen. Stored connection should be whatever you called your connection to the server. I have some numerous ones in here. I called mine CSS Data. Don't change anything else. This username here is your original one. It's the 7 digits or 7 letters, first letter of your first name, and then 6 characters of your last. Then the default schema should be the one we just did over here in the ERD. Again, CSS Data O underscore full username. Next, screen like this. The only ones that should be checked are drop and include model attached scripts. Next. Now you have to enter in your password. And it may sit here for a minute. What we're looking for is the back and the next buttons to become visible instead of being grayed out. Now they're visible. The only thing you want checked is the top one. We're building 5 objects. We're building 5 tables. Hit next. Now, this is important. This is the SQL that's going to actually be executed to build the tables. There's a couple things that are really important for you to look for. Number 1, this needs to be your database. CSS data O underscore first character of your first name and then your last name. It should be your entire, and again, I know I'm saying it over and over, but this is a pain point. Needs to be your full CSS username. This is your database. If you're using a newer version of MySQL Workbench, when you look here, you may see the word visible. So as you're reviewing everything, you might see the word visible. If you do, delete every instance where you see the word visible. If you see the word visible, delete visible. Just, if let's say it was right here and it said this, and it looked like that, I would just double click on it and delete. You might find it numerous places, probably 5 for each of the tables. Delete those. That's something new added to the latest version of MySQL. We're not using the latest version on the server. So you need to delete those. If you don't, when you hit this next button, you're going to get an error, and it's going to say something like error near the word visible. If that's the case, go back, delete visible. Okay, I'm all done. I see my database. I'm going to click next. And it asks for my password again. It's going to execute that script. I just saw it. That we just saw on the previous screen, and away we go, and you should get forward engineering finished successfully. If you didn't and you got an error screen here, if it's the word visible, go back and delete visible. If it says something like could not find database, and it's like MyDB or something like that, that means in your ERD you did not edit it and put the right database here. CSS data O underscore your CSS username. Make sure you check that. I'm going to click close because it was successful. Now what? Well, now go back to your connection screen. I'd hit the little house. I'm going to double click on my CSS data because that's where my link to the remote server. It's going to connect. Here we go. Now, I can see everybody's schemas down here, but the one I'm interested in is mine. Under tables, you should be able to open now an arrow and see 5 tables. If not, click that, right click on tables, select refresh all, and you should see your 5 tables. If you don't, then something went wrong in your forward engineering, and you need to check that. All these tables are empty. Now I can actually start importing data, and that's going to be our next video. All right, thank you.